This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
It's Wednesday, May the 13th, 2015, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. We begin with a warning that businesses and individuals in Barbados would have to pay between 25% and 500% more to have their waste removed if private operators were to accept government's new tipping fee. As the waste movers and haulers group enters day 3 today of their protest action against the fee, they're also cautioning that its trickle-down impact, if enforced by them, would send up the costs of construction, landscaping, manufacturing, food processing, retail and distribution from as low as $10,000 to $600,000 per year. In a statement issued last evening, the truckers also noted that while government was expected to haul in about $9 million a year, they're required to prepay this, bill their customers, and collect from them within the standing credit terms. The group points out that their protest action to date has been to highlight the plight of the many companies which have been unable to work since they met with the Minister of the Environment, Dr. Dennis Lowe, on May the 4th, because of not being able to pay the fee. The movers and haulers representatives are scheduled to meet today with top officials of the Barbados Private Sector Association and the Fair Trading Commission. The head of this country's Criminal Justice Research and Planning Unit is rejecting that medicinal purposes is the reason proponents of marijuana are pushing for it to be legalized. Cheryl Willoughby tells Barbados Today that advocates who want the drug legalized or decriminalized are really after money.
I think that we must understand that the move to legalize marijuana is an economic, there's an economic move behind it. The benefits that persons can derive financially from it. So in Barbados, we have to be very careful of the road that we take in terms of whether we decriminalize or legalize it without first determining the consequences of our actions should we move in that direction. And at present, we cannot do that without the empirical evidence to either support or to speak out against its use. The paper that we are hoping to complete shortly will at least give us a snapshot of the extent and the nature of it, i.e. who's using it, and some of the reasons behind persons going in that direction.
Meanwhile, a program aimed at saving 11-plus graduates from a life of crime is in dire need of financial aid. Willoughby says it would take about $100,000 per year to cover all the schools in Barbados. She is therefore appealing to business sector and other individuals to make it possible for all the primary school pupils to benefit during next year's program. Registrar of the Supreme Court and former juvenile court magistrate Barbara Cook-Aline, who conceived the project, tells Barbados Today it sensitizes the youth about the pros and cons of crime.
First of all, we try to sensitize them. They're not aware that age 11 is the age of criminal responsibility. They can be charged for any crime. We need to let them have that awareness that right now your actions have legal consequences. So we need to let them know that from early. If we tell us that every child in Barbados at age 11 would be wonderful. We also look at bullying. It's in primary, it's in secondary, it's in workplaces. And you let them know how to deal with that. They're not to be the victim. You just speak out to someone about it and work at it. And those who are bullies, try to reach them as well, because I'm sure there are bullies in the program as they come in from all the schools. Drug awareness, compulsory. So the program would help them be aware of what drugs can do to you. You know, their bodies are not fully formed yet, their brains aren't developed, and you're exposing yourself to all of these chemicals that can actually determine how your path will go from there on, and also give you psychological problems.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Turning now to the region, prison authorities in St. Lucia are planning more cavity searches of inmates after discovering a cell phone in a prisoner's rectum. The prisoner has been identified as Alvin Emmanuel, who is serving a 3-year sentence. The device was recovered after prison authorities, acting on information, took Emmanuel to hospital where medical officials retrieved the BlackBerry phone. Jamaica has said yes to accepting the Caribbean Court of Justice as the country's final court of appeal. Yesterday afternoon, the Jamaica Lower House of Parliament secured the favorable majority vote required to have the island access the CCJ's appellate jurisdiction. This means that Jamaica now joins Barbados, Guyana, Belize, and Dominica in scrapping the British Privy Council as their final court of appeal. And finally, on the international scene, North Korean Defense Minister Hyun Young-chol has been executed by anti-aircraft fire for disloyalty and showing disrespect to leader Kim Jong-un. Hundreds of officials watched Hyun's execution on April the 30th. Hyun, who was appointed to the post of Minister of the People's Armed Forces less than a year ago, was apparently caught dozing off during formal military events and also talked back to Kim Jong-un on several occasions. As we hear in this CNN report, this is just part of the North Korean leader's reign of terror against his perceived enemies in the isolated country.
A son grieves for his father, then executes his closest aides. Within 2 years of taking power, 5 of the 7 men you see here with Kim Jong-un were either fired or killed. According to this man, the highest-level North Korean official to defect in years, that was just the beginning. We're hiding his identity and calling him Mr. Park to protect friends and family still in Pyongyang. In his first ever interview, he tells CNN Kim Jong-un's cruelty is turning the elite against him. Within 3 months of taking power, he says, Kim Jong-un had ruthlessly executed 7 of his father's closest aides and 3 generations of their families, including the children. That was the beginning of his reign of terror. Park worked closely with his father, former leader Kim Jong-il, himself considered by much of the world as a brutal dictator. But he says while the father imprisoned his enemies, the son simply executes them.
And on that note, we end our Barbados Today morning news update. However, you can join us again this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into Channel 101 on Lime TV and Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.
This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.